Back to the sharpening. Currently we got this a little micro planer pulled apart. We got this soaking in water the whole while, so we're nice and wet on our stone. And we made some marks on the bottom of this, and we're waiting to see if we can get it dead flat. And I'm hopeful. This thing I got off Temu, it's probably $5, you know. But that's what I do with new things, right? So you practice and you learn on something expendable, something you can afford to lose, something you can afford to break before you actually need it. And that's kind of what we're doing. As far as I can tell, this is the process. So we still got a little bit of red showing at the very mouth of this. And dry it off again. And we're gonna mark it up again so that we can see where we're flat, where we're not flat. And that's how we'll know when we get to flat. Now this is tedious, definitely, but part of it. Guess we won't need that anymore. If you got questions, I'll try to answer them. I'll answer them. I don't know if my answer will be accurate, but I will. Home improvement questions or about this kind of stuff, which I'm getting an education in. See, I've got more material coming off here. Still, I've got a little mound. I don't think you want that. I think worst case scenario is you'd rather have it be bellied here. So, got more work to do. Let's go. So, where you from and what you doing? Talk to me, let me know. I do welcome and invite questions. Don't mind. But we've been semi-snowed in here in Atlanta. And not snowed in the sense that our cars can't get out today, but in the sense that it's best not to. The rescue vehicles here are limited and in their capacity. And a lot of people going out for no reason is a big, big issue whenever we have this kind of weather. But I believe I haven't heard the horror stories I've heard in the past, so or I've experienced in the past, so it's getting better. Let's check our tool. Now we still like right here we've got an area that's not getting touched. Right here we got an area that's not getting touched. All this is getting really flat. I'm feeling pretty good about this area, but we want it all. I mean, it's relatively small. We want it all. So now I'm gonna do is kind of at an angle. Try this. See if we can knock down some of those hot spots. If you know something about this, you're welcome to tell me what I'm doing wrong. But so far, this is doing okay. Getting better. Yo, what's good, Mr. Fix-It? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? I'm gonna clean that again. And we're gonna go This time with the blue. Give our stone a little plunge again. And we're getting closer, I think. Overall, I think we're getting closer with this little cheap thing. Like it's from Timu. I don't know what kind of metal this is. If it's cast iron, I think. Who knows? I would guarantee you it's Chinese though. Alright, so let's get going. We're just pushing back and forth. Light pressure. But we're trying to really get that metal flattened out. Oh, your dad's a builder? That's what's up. That's awesome. You do woodworking too? You know, my kid's dad's a woodworker. Yeah. So what are y'all doing today? Where y'all from? Now, the thing about getting tools that you have to adjust and you have to work with that maybe are not perfect is you learn a lot more about the tools. Mostly because they break, right? And when they break, you get to work on them. When you get to work on them, you learn about them. Now again, I've got another low spot still showing itself right there. I'm gonna dry it off. As many times as we got to do this, we're going to do it, because when we get to a higher quality and a higher standard, this will be easier. But till we get good at it, we're not worth it on a high quality tool. Sometimes people will say to me on their remodels and on their homes, should I do it myself? And I'd say, yeah, what's up, Alabama? They say, oh, what's going on, Honduras? Y'all got a champion over here. Teofimo Lopez is Honduran, I believe. Now, sometimes the homeowners will say, hey, should I do this myself? And I say, if you can afford to mess it up. That's the only circumstance, if you can afford to mess it up. Because on something you can't afford to mess it up, you don't necessarily want a beginner on it. You know what I mean? What's going on, Virginia? Man, y'all are in here. Y'all are in here. What's going on? Let me turn that one off. Let me kill that. We're just going to keep it going today. But these are all the things that we need to get a nice, clean, flat bottom surface. Now also with time lapses and stuff like that, you don't really get to see what's going on or how long it takes to do something. And then you get a bad idea about the amount of effort it takes. I like to show stuff as it's going so people can see how much effort it takes. And we are getting flat. This did not start out too bad, but it's getting better. Hold on, I'm gonna do this so I can read your comments. Oh man, it's dope. I do appreciate that. I would love a like and a sub. So here we are again, marking across the bottom. We're still low on these sides. And what that means is, instead of a flat plane, we're going to have a hump, but underneath. So it's going to be digging out like a cup, and that's not what we want. We want it smooth, flat, or we want it cut that way so that the shavings can get through. Either way, this ain't good, so we're going to get it good. I may change y'all's orientation in a second. See if I can get you. better situation visually. See better. I guess this is good for now, all right? Man, we still have that hot spot. We're taking off quite a bit of material. I guess it's just curvature in it. See what I mean? Right here on this outside corner up top. You can still see our marks. But we're gonna keep on it. Because this is what we do. And we drink coffee. Both. And they also say you can sharpen these on this porcelain down here that I've got, just in case. And I appreciate any of you guys who subscribed. I appreciate anybody who hit that little like or the follow. Helps the channel, obviously. But you know, I kind of just enjoy having this available to people. Because as I'm learning different things in woodworking, I am definitely YouTubing all over the place to learn how to do it. And sometimes I just want to learn a new thing. It's a very good habit I happen to have. Is I kind of always want to know the magic behind the magic trick. It's hard for me to just enjoy the show. I want to know how it happened. So, like with woodworking or contracting or whatever, I've always been curious when I see somebody who can do something I can't. And I want to know the magic. I want to know how. Oh, you guys are talking about subscribing? That's nice. But again, here we are. It's getting closer and closer. See, like that part shiny in the middle? It's spreading out. And as it spreads out, it gets to this edge. And that means we are getting flatter. We're getting flatter. So we're just going to keep going. Now, this may give me a little bit of education, and if I get big planes, how much of time do I even want to do with this? I'm what, 20 minutes in right now, just flattening this out. I'm just going to keep going. Still the same, we're going to soak a little bit of water. But this is starting to look good. I'm not disappointed, I'll tell you that. Now this is going to be a different story. The actual blade on this one, look how crooked that is. That is supposed to be dead flat and straight and smooth across. But we are going to make an attempt to fix that same way that we're doing all of this. Well, slightly different. I got a different tool for this. Hopefully it'll work. Because it's made for chisels. But they're definitely chisels that narrow. So we can get it together. You gotta pardon me, I feel like I gotta sneeze. So we are just relentlessly, mercilessly, diligently, carefully, gently, cautiously, favorably, and conveniently keeping this thing going. Not there, but you can see where it's shiny and where it's not. Where it's not is where we're still bellied out. Try it again. Just gonna mark it all up. We're gonna make sure that we flatten this thing out. That ought to be enough to do something. Back on our sanding stone. And we're still on the rough side because we're not at polish yet. We're still at grind this thing down flat. But that is what we are going to accomplish. We're going to get it ground down flat. Where y'all at? What are y'all trying to kick it to each other on here? Got a little love connection going on in the chat? Is that what's going on? What's going on, golf? Yeah, I have this little microplane that I got from Temu, and it's various little parts. And before I invest in an actual plane, I want to learn how to use these things. So I got the cheapest one I could find, and I am going to try to hone it, get it perfect. Now, you can see where I've still got work to do on this, but look at that. I got to get that straight, and as crooked as I don't know what. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Got my sanding block here, got me some water here. We're dunking and clunking. I don't know if that made sense, but it rhymed. I thought it would come off cooler than it did. But that's on me. That's on me. But either way, we're cleaning this thing up. It's getting better. Like, it didn't start out horribly bad. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you coming through. I love when people come back to the chat. Like, that's a big thing for me. If somebody rejoins a live or comes to a live, because those are the people that give me the likes, and those are the people who have followed, and that's awesome. I mean, I'm good with anybody watching it, and it just is what it is. But you know, it's nice to get it. It's nice to get it. Now, almost like with auto body work, I am going this way, 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 because I'm flattening and because I'm smoothing. If I was smoothing, I'm going in circles because that'll go around things. But this way lets me go dead flat. Dead flat. And when I do that, I can hear new sounds. And those new sounds mean I'm cutting into new metal. And that's the goal here. Is to cut out or gently cut down, shave down into this flat plane. Because what's a plane if it ain't flat? It's a curve. And again, we see where we still have high spots. Well, yeah, high spots here. Or low spots, relatively speaking, under, orientation maps. But still a ways to go to get to those edges. And we got to get to those edges, man. And you'll also notice that around the mouth of this thing there's still plenty. And I think some of that's going to be okay, but this is obviously not. So we're back on our wet sand and stone. In case you're wondering, it is wet. You can see the water squishing out from it. I had it soaking overnight, so it is really kind of awesome. I sharpened up some chisels the other day, and I made some stuff for my shop. Little shelf. Y'all can check that stuff out. I wonder if it's better if y'all are a little bit lower. Maybe that's a little better, right? Diligently just going through this motion. Now, these kinds of things, I could see why somebody would want to get the machining to do this. But I wonder how there even could be. Or maybe I should invent that. Maybe there should be like a giant, well, when I say giant, I mean a big enough block, right? And there's got to be some sort of equipment that can come down. It's an arm with some pressure. Keep it even and just go like a sawzall, but just faster than I can. Or doing it while I'm doing another task. But this is okay. Because ultimately, hobbies are the burners of time and money in exchange for information, satisfaction, and new skills. We are getting there. See, it's getting better. See where we're shiny and we see where we're not. We see where we got blue left. I'm gonna put some red on there. Dry it up. Now I'm overdoing this a little bit because you really can't. All that surface needs to come off. So, let's get it. Let's get another plunge back in the water for a second. Back on. Back to getting this cleared off. Like, follow, subscribe, yada yada yada. If you want to. If you don't, just keep chilling with us. We got a little love connection going on in the chat. Oh no, that's a video game chat. Oh, maybe they're talking about that. My bad, y'all. I don't mean to put your business in the internet streets. But what I am gonna do is keep pushing this tiny little plane across this block until the soul of it is good and flat. Now, as a contractor, we hardly ever have to get anything this level of flat. But as a woodworker, it seems essential. So here I am trying to get the sole of this thing dead flat and also activate my OCD and tune it to be willing to do this and seeing some purpose in it so I don't get frustrated. And if I can get this thing right and like taking a shaving, like a nice clean shaving like how the good woodworkers do, I'll be very excited about it. But we're gonna work on it. And while I'm working on this, I'm gonna be cleaning up that. So I'm gonna just really put some weight and some elbow grease on it right now. See if I can get, because I really want to get to this. I really want to get to this. That seems like the biggest challenge, but I'm devising a way to get it good. All the while focusing on my physical energy upon this one here. So did y'all get snowed in? A lot of people got snowed out, man. I did. And it's still icy out. But got a space heater in the shop. Oh, that's getting better. See that? That is getting better. How about that, Rex? How about that? Just kidding. I watch your channel and you're great. But I think I've decided I'm going to stay kind of a hybrid channel where we're doing some woodworking and we're doing some contracting. Because I like power tools, I'm not going to front. I do like hand tools as well. But you can't beat efficiency in certain applications. First time I saw somebody do this, I almost freaked out. I was like, what are you doing? It's permanent. Maybe we'll try to fine side for a little bit. See if that does anything. Are we there? We'll see if we're there yet, where the fine side is even relevant. If that's the fine side, I don't know. I feel friction here. I feel new cutting here. Maybe I was on the fine side the whole while and didn't know it. But I hear a completely different sound when I'm pushing this one on this side. It's the light blue side. I don't know why I assumed the light side would be the fine side. I don't see an actual indication on this, and I threw the box away too soon. So, you hear that little cut? That's different than what we heard before. And yes, this has definitely been soaking in water. It's still saturated in water. I'll show you whenever I press this, a little water bead rolls with it. That's how we know. That's how we know we're plenty saturated. And now, if you want to advise me and let me know, peace, Felix. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. Let's see what we got. We got some missing at the top. We still got some material to go at the top. But this is getting better. Like from where we were, I can't quite tell if right there, because it looks like it's not as shiny, so we might be missing a little bit right there. Let's go back on with some red. block off. Now this is a little bitty plane, so because it's so small, we don't want dips in it. Like it's too small to have those problems. So I'm gonna try to get back to getting it dead flat, so that when I do buy a good one, I'll know how to do this process and it'll seem like a breeze. Hmm? Twerking off the Sharpie? What? Or I'm tweaking off the Sharpie. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, the Sharpie's got me, man. I can't get off him. I'm definitely tweaking off the coffee, though. For sure. Today, I'm taking this little microplane and I'm flattening it out and making the sole of it perfect. And then I'm going to make the blade on it perfect. You see that big hook in it? And I'm going to be getting those things together so that this little plane, my very first plane, will be a tool that I'm happy with, and it'll encourage me to get bold enough to actually spend money on a decent one, because I'll know what to do with it. So see that little bit of red we got left up there? We got to get rid of that. It's a little bit on the mouth too, so that just means, the thing about it is everything else has to come down to that. You're not like actually taking that off. You're just bringing every other part of this thing down to that lowest spot. That's exactly right. Like that, it's fine machinery. And like as a contractor, I don't have to fine tune and machine this way, but having a 30-year-old and a 40-year-old Chevy outside, then it's good to know how to do something. I wouldn't dare try that. But if you follow my videos, you'll see me I pull it a transmission and put another one in. Uh, and I don't want to say like I did it, but a buddy of mine, and I filmed it, helped him out. Thanks for the follow, Mason. That's dope. I appreciate that. For real, for real. I definitely do. I appreciate you too, Josh and Zach. I appreciate everybody in the chat that's bothering to talk to me and like. Hit the like. That's dope. I appreciate it when that happens. Not if you're driving, not if you're busy, but if you got a second, clicking that clicker helps me out. Now, this is just all my stuff, and this is just a hobby. I don't really need like donations and stuff for it, but I do like the likes. It makes my self-esteem skyrocket. And then I'll be like, what else can I do for attention? And then I come in here and do something else for y'all. So, win-win, right? Back on it. And we're just keeping it nice and flat against that block. And now, I'm not the first person to do this, I bet. But this is just 120 grit drywall sandpaper on this porcelain block because it needs to be dead flat. Like if there's an application that you can actually do like that, right? But if you do it, you have to do it on porcelain. So let's see if the 120 did something. Or if we beat it up so, look at it, it's all gone. Now, let's dunk our block again. Clean this off again. and see where we're at with this here thing. Cause that was better than what we had before, right? Definitely feels better. I don't even know how to describe that, but it did. All right, I'm gonna put it on there and see if we get it right. See if we are flat. This does remind me of auto body work though. When I did some work on those my OSB Chevy, OBS Chevy. On this Dexit, you gotta give me a break. Oh, dude, it all came off. What? Ah. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go to the fine side then. Let's do that. First, let me get these little grimy grimes off. We're gonna try that one more time because man, that was effective. And if it's smooth, then that's what we needed. We got it flat now. We just need it smooth. So we're gonna hit it a couple times on the fine tip and see if our results are what we want. Because that was amazing. Now I heard put it on the porcelain, put it on the sandpaper, get it nice and flat. Big reveal. Woo. So good. Oh, we got a little bit right there, right? At the very, very tippy top. A little bit right there. Let's get on that. Overall, though, I would say this is a win. This is... Oh, man, there's so many... You know what? I think my generation, like the pre-OCD and ADHD generation, like I got 150 projects, man, but this one I find very satisfying. Sharpening and flattening and sanding and staining. I find it very satisfying. I think I'm gonna take that back to the 120 real fast and just see if we can knock down our little remaining. This is of course wet as well. So don't freak out on me in the comments. But I put this paper here primarily so I can hold this block in place, keep it from wiggling. But it seems to be savior all the day, so. That's all right, man. Listen, I've watched hundreds of hours of other people doing this stuff just so that when I did attempt it, i.e. today, that I don't horribly mislead people and I a little bit seem to know what I'm talking about. So I don't knock you for that. And you know, we also live in a time where people feel like you've always got to be doing something amazing. And most people are doing amazing things in quiet. And sometimes the amazing thing is just feeding your family and coming home and relaxing. And this is just how I do both, honestly. All right. Back to the sanding from West Desert, the blue collar philosopher. But I appreciate you watching me. Don't procrastinate on the thumbs up though. Give me a like. So you're at least getting that though. We need those. But if you're not, you're okay. You're in good company. It's 135 of you in here, and I got 4 likes. But that's okay. Maybe I am getting high off this marker. Oh man, no problem. We gotta be real in this world. We don't want to be stressed out over hobbies. That's for sure. We don't want to be stressed out over hobbies. This is just happens to be how I had fun. If you met me at 15 years, if they have video cameras on the phones at 15, you'd have seen me doing BMX tricks. So it looks like we got a little bit at the bottom, a little bit at the top, and I'm gonna flip back over to what I believe is the coarse side of this thing and give it another romp. See if I can get that better. I'll go ahead and dry it off again. Switch colors again, so I can keep bullet. You know what I mean? Because we want to be able to monitor our progress. And this is turning out to be like really one of my favorite things to do right now. Because I don't know, this tedium doesn't bother me if there's a goal at the end. If there's something I can monitor along the way, then I can get very invested and I can get very encouraged to keep going and keep doing whatever that thing is. Now this time I'm gonna put a good little bit of pressure because I'm really trying to get that center down to match up with those outside corners, because remember, the 2 corners that are available, we're not trying, we can't lift them up. Like if the problem is here and here, we've got to knock all this down to get that right. It's not us bringing this up, it's all this material going down until we've cut into it and made it into a flat surface. But I really feel like we are close. Oh, I got 2 new likes. I appreciate that, y'all. I'm sure one of those was you. We buy houses, or Mo buy houses. If I mispronounce your names, I'm sorry. It's because I'm nearsighted. Hey, and old a little bit. How about it? Is that good? I think it is. Somebody else did it. Thank you. Thank you in the chat for the likes. Likes and subscribes are the only thing I'll ever ask. I'm not asking that of you, but I appreciate it from you. I don't want you to think I'm gonna be on here begging too much. Cause all this stuff I use is cheap, so you know. Just kidding. I'm not kidding, this stuff is cheap. Because I want you to be able to do it too. If you want to. And if you want to, one of the great things about this YouTube movement is that you can see it, see the processes and go, I don't want to do that. It looked cool, but I don't want to do that because it's too much. And man, before you make a big old fat investment, because I promise you, I have not seen a good review hand plane that was less than $200 and 150 years old. And I'm like, do they not even make them? Like, somebody's got to be making a good plane these days. decent enough that I can buy without needing to make a living off of it, right? And use it and have some fun in the shop. Now, what I've still got here, I'll keep you abreast, is got that little section. You can see some red. And then I've got this little section here where you can see some red. And that essentially just means these corners kind of roll over, but the middle seems flat. And I'll give this a little bit more effort, but I think this is going to be within tolerances. Like, I know what the tolerances are, but it's what I'm going to do. It's what I'm going to do. Let me give one more good go around these edges for sure. See what we got. And let that dry, so we don't trick ourselves and be washing it off instead of scraping it off or removing that material. And here we go. Let's get it. This is some work though, but I do have a very comfortable bench that I made. You can see that in my shorts. All I really have is like YouTube shorts and lives. I don't have a lot of long form content yet. I am working on it, but in that I'm working on my editing skills. So as I'm trying to get this little microplane flat, again, when I get myself to one of those $200 planes, it's 150 years old, I want to be able to work on it. I want to be able to make it do all the cool stuff that Rex Kruger is doing. And that guy knows all about it. You can follow him too. And tell him I told you to follow, so that his followers will see it. And then they'll come follow me too. I'm just kidding. Or am I? But we're just going to mindlessly work this. And I say mindlessly, but really, we are intentionally being flat. We are intentionally applying even pressure. And we are intentionally making sure we make contact with the entirety of this plane on the entirety of the surface of the stone. You hear when that sound changes? That means you're cutting something. And that's what we want. We want to be cutting some metal off this thing. If you got some advice, I'll take it. But this is looking even better. We're getting those corners going further and further out. It's getting narrower and narrower, and that means we're flattening the rest of it out and getting it to the same low height as that one. Welcome back, Felix. Let's hit it again. Did you go find your chat buddy and y'all got y'all's gaming info together? My son's game. I'm gonna do the whole thing again. Just so we know. Just so we know. Alright. And then let's let it dry. While this is drying, I'm gonna get a swig of coffee. We're gonna get this back wetter. I think it's okay, but we want to make sure. We just want to make sure. All right, again, we got reference lines. Let's give ourselves some more work on our whetstone. As it goes, I think we're gonna get some progress because the last 150 just kidding. But we think we're making some progress. And thank you, my likes have doubled in the last few minutes, and that's dope. I really appreciate that. Cause I just be buying this stuff with my own, well, not with my own money, with my wife's money. I don't ever have money. I just work. But as I'm buying this stuff, I get the cheap version so that we can learn how to fix a Pinto before we get involved with trying to change the oil on Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? We still got that corner there. This one here is not as bad. That one up there. And I just don't know enough about planes to know how crucial that is. I guess it's on the back side. The back is a little lifted because this is the front. This is the back. But I still want that low. You know, look at that. It's still, you can tell it's a little bit more than what we want. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go to the heavier sandpaper, and we're just gonna do it once. Just do it once. All right, we're gonna go with the buck 20 grit, just for a few passes, so that we can at least flatten out the bottom. And maybe that's gonna be weird. We're gonna make sure that paper's wet though. We're gonna dip it in our water because we need that wet and we need it flat. So that's why we're on top of this porcelain. And I'm just gonna make a couple of rough passes here. Couple of passes. Not nearly as much as what we were doing there, right? Because we don't want it to curl up on these edges, right? All right, that's it. That's all we're gonna do on that for now. We put that, our wet block. This is still wet, still soaking up water. See? So back on it. And now, see how that got much rougher sounding? Aren't you supposed to tension the iron in before you flatten it? Tell me about that, Dave. What is tensioning the iron in? Because this is my very first plane ever. And it's tiny. But I want to make it work. And it's cheap. But I want to make it work before I go buy an expensive one. Now, tension, I don't know, but tension is, do you mean you have to let it sit and then let the metal relax over time before you do that? Possibly. But I've had this maybe 3-4 months. And it's $6 probably. So I'm definitely not gonna wait that much. Oh, the blade? I don't know. So tell me about it though. I'm very curious. Cause this is, oh, that's going better. That's getting better. But my understanding is you just get this thing dead flat. And this blade is wildly off. Unless that's some intended thing. But look at that. It's like a little hook on the end of it. But again, this is a $6 piece of equipment. So, what I'm hoping to do is be able to get that right. Because this cannot be right. But this can be flat. And that effort will be given upon this day. wonder if I can machine that with an actual power tool. Wonder what I could get refined enough in a power tool to be able to pull that blade straight and flat. Don't know. But I am willing to try it with this stone and my other little sharpening tool over there, my chisel sharpening tool. Let's see what this looks like again. We're gonna hit it one more time with the red. Thank you again for the likes. Man, y'all keep doing me good up there. I appreciate it. I don't need a lot, but when I know every now and then somebody stayed for 10 seconds and shot me a thumbs up, that does something for my self-esteem. I don't make money on YouTube yet, but my self-esteem is getting tremendous. I go upstairs and give my wife the business thanks to you guys. Just kidding. All right, that looks good. Let's hit it again, see what we got. See if it's flat and smooth. And then we want to polish down really nicely because that'll help this that'll help this plane slide across and cut better. That's what my logic and sense of reason tells me. But like my man just pointed out in the chat, sometimes you don't know. Look at that. That's too much. Look at that. Look how much of that. I'm gonna put some intentional effort to this side. I don't know if that's good or bad to do that. Or do I put intentional effort to the opposite side? Yeah, because that's the side that has to go down, right? Thank you for the like. Not sure who did that, but shout outs to you for even looking out for your boy like that. I don't have like a Patreon or anything like that. I live on contract of money. And my emotions live on YouTube likes. Still not there. Let me show you. There we go. That's good stuff. Thank you, whoever did that. That was nice of you. Zoom back. Every now and then I feel a little snag or something like that. I wonder if that's me chipping up a little piece of... You hear that? Like a grab. Let me soak my stone. I'm not sure why that's doing that. But it didn't sound healthy. Let's see if we got any deficiencies. I don't see any issues. We're getting pretty reflective, which is a sign. And we're only going to go forward and back on this thing because that's the direction it's supposed to go, right? On a nice, flat, and wet sharpening stone. Again, I'm getting that little snag sound. I don't know what that is. You change direction on the stone. If you know what it is, holler at me and put focus over the whole plane till the one side is the same height. Yep, still red because of and then put more focus on the side. You just want to make it. I got you. So let's do that. That's kind of what we were doing before. And then I feel like a failure, like I was doing it wrong because it's one side. But you're right. The right way is the right way. Let's get us some more marks. We see where we bad over here already. Let's not say bad. Let's say we'll see where we're not as good as we could be. And again, y'all don't get me wrong. In this woodworking world, Wes does it loves tips, favors, and whatever it is you have to offer in terms of advice. Because I'm not an expert at this yet. And me learning is also you learning. And I don't want to mess y'all up by giving you bad information. And we're just going to keep working the sole of this thing until it's nice and flat. I still don't know what that is, that snag I get every now and then. Maybe it's this moving on the little sandpaper down there that's holding it. But it's working. Thank you for the likes. I just got another one. That was nice. Thank you. All right, let's see. Still here. I mean, but we gotta get it. I don't know how important that one little corner is. It seems to be maybe the only one little bit by the mouth, but I think that's an okay thing, if not a good thing. I am gonna keep working this because I think I want to get used to precision, right? And I've got to kind of tune myself to this level of precision if I'm going to do this kind of work or this kind of hobby. So that's what I'm going to do. Get this nice even force and work this thing in. I got 17 likes, and that's y'all looking out for me. That's nice. I appreciate it. They are rolling in. And it's all because of you. Maybe we take a break on this for a second. Just for a second. I'm going to sit him here. And I'm going to go get my wheel. And maybe we can work on that. This thing was amazing for sharpening my chisels, and I am geeked about it. And so I'm going to use it again for this. And all you can do with this thing is put your whatever it is that you're sharpening in this little vise thing, and it'll grab it in there, and then that wheel will let it tilt and roll at just the angle to give you the angle that you're after. You have to set it, but it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Also, super cheap to new tool. So let's try to find the angle that we want on that. And what I'm going to do is take that tooth part that's sticking up, and I'm going to get it off of the stone while I set the angle, because I don't want that angle. I want the proper one. And I just hold that up to the light until I can't see through it. And I feel like that's it. I'm gonna tighten that up. them to the side. I'm gonna sharpen it, and I got a feeling this is gonna be harsh on this tool, but here's what it is. We gotta get it down. I could try to get you a little bit closer. How's that? I'm gonna get a little more light over here too. Now, let's see what the chat is saying. Sharpen stones, oh. Well, my sharpening stone is not very old. This one's only a couple, maybe 3-4 months old. Tempered glass with the lapping compound. Yeah, that might be good. Bought a cheap plane to do this very thing. I got distracted from other projects. Oh man, good job, Matt. I appreciate that, man. That's the kind of chat input that's really helpful to me and to you guys. So, shout outs to Matt. I mean, but we all live in life, man, you know what I'm saying? And our hobbies aren't always going to take the priority, you know what I mean? So, like I was telling buddy a second ago, you know, we can't get too caught up in the what we didn't do, you know what I'm saying? But I'm glad I could motivate you to go do something about it. If you want, you know. I'm so big on autonomy. I try not to ever feel like I'm telling people what to do. But look at that. We're getting a little bit of grind down on that. A little bit. It's hard for y'all to see it. I'll try to. Let me see. There you go. See? Just a little bit. This is the tip that we're trying to work down. We're working it down by just running it on this angle, not this angle, until it catches and meets up. And that's kind of what we are attempting to do. And it sounds rough, like I've never seen something dragging such a small surface over this stone. And it's just digging in though. It is starting to dig in. You see the little triangle on the end? Little triangle on the end starting to form. There it is. That's what we're going to bring down. Now, I'm also fairly certain that this is about as cheap as you can get in terms of the metal on this thing. But look, starting to, that little triangle starting to get wider and longer, and that's what we want. So I'm gonna keep working that. Like, that feels like success right now. Because if we can get that little dinky tool plane to work, then we will invest in another. Look at that. We're getting there. That's happening, fam. See that little triangle in this corner up here? Yep. Getting on plane with that one there. Thank you for whoever just gave me a thumbs up in the chat. I appreciate it. But again, I don't need it financially. That's what broke people say. I'm just kidding. I do need it. No, I don't get paid on YouTube yet. But I do really appreciate the encouragement and feeling like I did something that somebody found value in. And it's a fairly simple gesture, but when I get it, I really genuinely appreciate it. So, shout outs to you, mystery liker. Getting better. Getting better. See, as soon as we can get one shiny line across that whole thing, then that's when we'll be there. We ain't there yet. But we're gonna be. Because we have tools to make tools that make tools. That would have been awesome if I felt like I had my wooden mallet right here where I could be like, this is a tool that I'm using to make a tool, and this is a tool that's using its skill set to make that tool. Then I can make more tools. It's a vicious cycle of getting shit done. So, now I don't know if you see how that works, but right, just like that, it just rides that edge on that wheel back there, and look how much closer we're getting now. We're almost there, fam. Let us get back in the water. Thank you for whoever put me over the top with the likes at the big deuce, the big 20. I appreciate it. Shout out to you. And anybody else who bothered to hit me in the thumb, you know what I mean? But right now, I'm trying to get this little micro bad boy together. And look at that, you can really even see literally rust developing on it right now. Live, like. So definitely the olive oil business after the sharpening takes place. Man, it's getting there. It's getting there. But I need it flat all the way across. And it's, remember that little hook that was in it? It's not quite that yet. I mean, anymore. But we're getting there. I'm happy to say. And then once I get this sharpened, I think I'll come back and maybe put a little chamfer around that mallet I built yesterday. I did do a live mallet build yesterday. If you're curious about how to build a woodworking mallet in its most simplest form, you can look that up on my lives and watch it. I did it start to finish, so everything I did is included, everything I showed you. out of probably about $3 worth of lumber, if that. Thanks again for whoever just gave me a like. I appreciate it. You are saving the children right now with your contributions, putting your thumb on that button. My kids will now be able to eat ham sandwiches. Whew. It's turning into a workout. A little bit. Thanks for the likes. Once again, y'all are awesome. Now this is going to be good. I think once we get that bevel the same everywhere, then I think that's when we'll be good enough to go ahead and reinsert this back into the shoe and have this whole thing actually functioning. Because I didn't really know what to do with it, to be honest. What I did find it particularly good at is scraping glue off of my glue up tables, which is exceedingly important and worth it with that. But I want to be doing the real woodworker stuff, man. That bevel's still not perfect, but it's close. Look at that. We do have, see if you can see it, the hook is gone. So now we're just after getting our bevel good. We have made progress on that today, friends. Nice even pressure. I got 2 fingers on this, right? This and this, and they are both giving pressure on the very tip of this thing, but not too much, just enough to keep it flat and honed down on the stone itself. And I'm just gonna have to keep doing this until that bevel is even out on the whole side. And then we'll flip it over and flatten the back side so that, just like a knife, we got a cutting side and we got a straight, flat, smooth side. This is getting there. This is getting there. I'm still a while away. I can tell. When I say a while, let's put some more water in our stone. Let's get our stone soaked a little bit more. It'll let me get soaked a little bit more. Afternoon coffee, as Wes does it. Meanwhile, if I can hit the likes, I see quite a few people have, I mean, when I say quite a few, for me, that's, you know, a couple dozen is amazing. And I thank and appreciate you. And I'm going to burn some incense in appreciation for your likes. So if you see smoke, that's what it is. It is incense and sage. Commemorating and appreciating you and your likes on the channel. And today we are back at it like Craftmatics. So what I'm sharpening today is the blade, and I'm flattening the sole of this tiny little microplane that I bought, and now I'm trying to get it tuned so that I can look like an official Dizzle woodworker. Shout outs to you for even engaging the chat. I love it when people are willing to talk to me in here. And I know I'm over here doing stuff, and I'm nearsighted. You can barely read. But I still want your affection. Shoot me a like if you want to. If you don't, I don't know what I might do. Ugh. Don't. What if I just became... No, I don't want to do it. Like YouTube would be like, you violated our terms. And I don't want our terms violated. I think that incense is starting to kick in. Do I just do craftsman woodworking wood, or do I do other materials? Yeah, I am actually... I don't know what I'd call myself, right? Because a lot of people say makers, right? But I've been a carpenter, I've been a tile guy, I've been a plumber, I've been an electrician, I've been a siding guy, I've been a roofer, I've been a framer, and I've been a carpenter in the sense of cabinet building and trim work. And now I want to do woodworking and furniture building. It just feels like the next step to me. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I do definitely use other materials. I built my chisel safety glass over there yesterday, or was it the day before? But it's on a live. And I don't think any of that was actual woodworking. I don't think I even used the wood in that project. But it worked out good. Let's see what our blade is looking like. We're getting close. See it when it's got that little discrepancy right there underneath? That's what we're taking out now. So the problem that we had is gone. And now we are curing the results of that problem. And here we go again. And like, I don't know if you can tell this, but when I go back and forth on this, there's like a trail of water that's soaked into the stone that kind of follows it back and forth and disappears each time. And the more consistent that looks without hollows in it, I can kind of tell I'm getting there when it does that. When I get almost a nice, clean sort of water shadow. Thanks again. Oh, somebody else gave me a like. I appreciate it. Good looking out. I'm here for you. I'm here for me. But you're here for you. I'm here for me. And we landed in the same place at the same time. So that must mean something. Getting close. Now, we're gonna roll over the back of this a little bit to get the burrs off. I'm not gonna do too much, just a little bit. And that side we're doing dead flat, right? I want that dead flat. Thank you for the like, whoever just did that. And then that's gonna help me get nice and clean. Stay nice and clean. So that when I am pulling shavings, they're gonna come out like butterfly wings. thin, translucent, because I honestly have never ever done that in my life. Like I've cut off shavings, but they were not beautiful shavings. Resin pour. The resin that I've used has generally been in repair work. Like, oddly enough, I did a couple of fishing pole repair videos that I used resin. I did fiberglass resin when I put the float pods on my John boat, and it's pretty awesome. It's my favorite boat of all time. Oh, the honing, yeah. I have, 6 months ago, you would have been in this chat upset with me about what I knew about sharpening a blade. And arguably, experts still would be like, what are you doing, man? But we were getting so close, man. Look at that. Let me get that little hill out of there. We're going to be ready to go. Thanks for the like. Somebody else did it for me, and I appreciate it. Good looking. Thank you again. I'm going to flip this over again. Don't know if this is... Yeah, back to the left side. And we're just going to knock some more material down, because at this point, we need to do a little bit more grinding and polishing. So this is us kind of working that material down. And again, everything just rides on this little wheel. It's rotating. And then this just sits on the same plane with it. And it lets it roll at exactly the angle that you set it to. And goes good. I'm gonna hit the back of that blade a little bit more. Just a touch. Because you can feel those burrs. So you can feel also when they're gone. And it's gone. And then we go back to cleaning up the actual blade. Thank you for the like in the chat. That was dope. Appreciate you. Every time we do this, we learn something. What's interesting is every time I come in here and do something with you guys, somebody teaches me something new. And I know that sounds dry, but this thing is dripping wet. I'll put it back in the water though for just a second. No bubbling, so I guess we're okay. I wonder if you're supposed to clean, how you clean these things. I honestly don't know. Maybe just a soap cleaner or something. Done structural fiberglass? Yeah, I haven't. I'll be honest with you. I'm not like a huge fan of the resin, right? I was. I think in the furniture and stuff, I think it's probably pretty cool. I haven't seen a lot of it up close and personal. But as a contractor, I have seen a lot of countertops where they've done the what do you call it, the resin pours, and unfortunately every single one of them I've ever seen, I was there to tear out because they were awful, and put in something sensible like granite or quartz or an actual stone. So that looks good. Well, that looks decent, I'll say. I'm still not perfect here, and I want to be. Thanks for the like. I just got another one. We at 25. Yay, yay. my wife just texted me that she made me a sandwich. And I'm still down here with you knuckleheads. And nobody's giving me likes. Huh? You missing out on sandwiches and possibly other stuff later. And I'm not getting likes for it. Hook me up. Hook me up. Hook me up. I'm just kidding. I don't mind. You can just watch. I don't mind. Yeah, you can use a light soap. Just don't put oil on it if you want to keep it. Weatherstone. If you put it on it, it has to stay in the oil stone. Ah, I gotcha. It just doesn't make sense to mix those two, huh? Gotcha. So I guess this one's going to be a water stone. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subs. But I've got a lot of stuff I built on here. I wish I had my boat build on here a little bit better. But I am gonna do another one. But just because you're engaging me, I'm gonna take a quick detour and I'm gonna show you my boat. It's freezing outside, so I'm gonna do this fast. So that's my little John boat, and I put these float pods on it right here. That's my weed eater, don't mind that. And that's all foam under fiberglass in there. I'm sure you have some cool ideas about stuff like that. I bet you could have made that thing way better. Having some actual knowledge. But thought I'd give you a quick show what I'm trying to do with the channel, which is pretty much everything. You know what I'm saying? Back here. Back to the stone again. Did I lose some of y'all with that? But yeah, my whole interest in that boat was I don't swim well. And I never want to flip over and lose my gear. So it's a 10-footer, but I also wanted something I could lug around myself if I had to. And that 10-foot John boat definitely was a boat I can handle alone. And I just keep a little trolling motor on it, so that's fine too. Thank you for the like. And all I have to do with the foam, I put it on, wrapped it in like the cheesecloth or whatever, and then I just fiberglassed all of that onto it, and then I went around the perimeter with more fiberglass with the roll that breaks apart, and I did that a couple of times, and underneath it's plywood, and then all the fiberglass, of course, over that, just so that if it hits something hard, it doesn't puncture. But it was a fun build. It was before I was actually on YouTube recording anything, so all I have is mostly photos of it. But when I build a new one, I'll definitely post it. Because I just think I've seen a handful of float pods on YouTube. I've not seen anything that's as effective, as lightweight as mine. Because my boat doesn't weigh more than 10 pounds more than it did otherwise. Because you can also use foam itself in like an X sort of pattern or grid pattern to get structural integrity. And that's how I made my live well / my storage slash my casting deck. Yeah, because those curves are important. I used to occasionally go repair chimney caps with fiberglass, and we would have to make sure that we weren't getting those gaps, and we had to have a good bond. Often it was high up the work and structural and really hard to get back to if there was a problem. So now we got the moist stone, and look at, we are like super close, you guys, and I think because we're so close, we should try it. We should just try it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this apart, pull it out, and we're gonna put this thing back together if I can figure out how. I think that's it there. And that little set screw here, and then there's our blade, but we want our blade, of course, back a little bit, and we want it even. And I don't know if we want this blade proud of where we're at, but for now, yeesh, I'm gonna put it right there at it. Right. Like, but each time as I tighten that screw, it pushes that thing way back. Way back. But I guess that's where it's gotta be. There's not a lot of adjustment option on this, but we are going to try to keep it nice and even. Yeah, metal feels cold and like this. Now, you know what's very interesting is that I have never welded anything in my life. And mostly because I've not worked in commercial, but I've mostly worked on residential homes. But I've always wanted to weld. Like, I get very excited thinking about learning to weld. But I'm afraid it looks so dangerous. But it seems so freaking useful. Like, it's amazing to me when somebody can weld. I'll be honest with you. So let me grab something to plane. Here's our mallet we built yesterday out of some common materials. Let's see if we can take a shaving off of this thing. Let's start on the bottom where we can't really see. Let me get y'all really close. See if I can get you close. Closer than most. Alright. So, we already know we gotta get down a little bit. And I think this is the kind of plane that you're supposed to give a little tap. Maybe I need to loosen that more. This is no Japanese woodworking plane. But does it count as a Chinese woodworking plane? It's from Temu. Hmm. So what I'm doing now is trying to line that blade up just outside of that. Oh man, and then it just slipped. Cause I want it close. I don't. Oh, I'm all the way off it. Hold on, hold on. Glad I got gloves on. This is not a high quality tool, I would say. I would not say this is like a high precision tool, but that's kind of the point, is that we kind of want to make it that. As clumsily as we're doing it, that is kind of the goal. And I think I'm getting there. I think I did it. Now I'm going to tighten that down. And that's where we're at. Let's see if we can get a shaving off the handle. Oh, I hear something. A little bit in there, which is encouragement to me. It's very encouraging. We're gonna give him a little whack, see if that does it. Let's see if that did anything. Got a little something out of there, but not enough. Kendrick Lamar. It's not enough. Okay, wait. All right, thank you for the like. Somebody else snuck in there and gave me another one. I appreciate it. Now, I don't want to go too proud with this thing, because I don't want to, like, the worst is removing too much material, and I don't want to do that. But I do want to get this to pull a shaving. And I think it may, I got these gloves on, so don't worry about my hands. But I think that's going to be, maybe that's something else that's got to be machined on this thing. Because with the glove, I can feel this blade, it's out. But I want it the same on both sides. And it doesn't quite look like that's what's going on. But I can kind of adjust this. A little tap. And then that gets good, but man, that is a wild looking angle after that. Let's show you what I got. Thank you for the like, whoever just did that. You're a blessing. And may you live long and watch Star Trek. All right. I think we got a little shaving there, man. Look. Look. Now that is useful. That is a good thing for bevels. That's gonna be, oh man, it's hella harsh though. I gotta come back off of that. Thank you for the like. That's harsh. But I did not expect this to be not harsh. And I think it's just the adjustment tool with this one little screw just forces too much out. And then by there not being like a proper frog, I think is what you call it, then it's just not letting this be a great tool. But I think we can get to it being a good tool. So we're adjusting that back, pushing that blade back. And then we're gonna see, and we have to do so much of this at the same time. Thank you for the like. Somebody else gave me a like. Because we want that there. We want it in a good place. We want it nice and even across. We want it not to be tilting too much to one side. And I think that feels good. Kind of looks good. But I can't know until I use it. Let's see. On the corners, it'll probably... Oof. That's probably our best one yet. But it's also on dead, even, flat stuff. Let's see. That's nice. That's nice. So we are getting good shavings after all. So I'm super happy about that. So let's see if we can get him to do that all the way around. This thing. Trying to get my leg comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Yo, what's good, Kizzy? I'm good. I'm good. I'm super good. How are you? Because I'm getting shavings on my mallet that I built with my little tool that I just tuned up, sort of. Now, we are going against the grain here, so this is going to be the most challenging of all things planer. And I just don't think with this soft wood that's even the answer. I think that's a good answer for the handle, because look what we're getting from that. Nice, smooth vibes. Nice, smooth. I like that. I do. Uh-oh, hold on, because I think y'all are... And get you plugged back in so I can see you better. Finish sharpening the edge. It took a second for the wire edge to come off. Oh yeah. Now welding is very easy to pick up. I don't know, man. I'm gonna try it though. I promise you that. I am gonna try it. I will be doing MIG welding as soon as I can learn how. Now I gotta remember I don't have the gloves on now, so I don't wound myself. But I'll tell you what, I'm not mad at these shavings. Thank you for whoever gave me a like. And this is going far better than I thought this was gonna go. Like, I am super impressed with this. I'm gonna give y'all as good a I don't know what kind of blade that's made of. Happy New Year to you too, kids. I don't. This blade is probably made of the cheapest stuff you can get because it's certainly not expensive. This was a $6 tool. I will definitely need to oil it. But man, I'm just not mad at these shavings. I'm gonna try to see if I can just carry this all the way around this handle till I've got a nice, soft curve. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Look at that. It's not wispy. They're not, super light. But I am moving material on purpose, and it is controllable. Alright. And that is what we're always after. So kids, we gotta catch up. What you been up to? Yeah, well, it was crappy at first. It wasn't. It wasn't doing this at first. We weren't getting any shavings really at all. But we tweaked it, and so what we're learning is we learn how to fix the cheap version when we're ready for the big boy stuff or big girl stuff. We'll have what we need, and we won't be intimidated with the process. Now, if I could get narrower shavings out of this, I would, if I'm being honest. But right now, this thing was so square and rough, I couldn't get a proper turn out of it. Now, that fast, I can. And it just has to do with the friction as I spin it in my hand. Thought I was gonna drop it. So I'm gonna keep pulling material off of this thing. Until I get this thing. But I will say this. A sander wouldn't do this as good. And that's kind of what I'm comparing it to, is contracting tools, because that's what I'm used to. But this is not bad. Can get a little gougy. Got another like, I appreciate it for sure. Got a little gougy. Because this is not a tool you can fine tune very much. And unfortunately, that's the kind of tool it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be for precision stuff, even especially the small. It should be for precision stuff. I hope it is good steel. But right now, it's certainly good enough steel to get me go in here, and it's 100% better than what I could have built myself. So I'm gonna grab another little piece. Now that I'm starting to like this, I don't want it to be the sacrifice. So I'm gonna grab a little scrap, see if I can get my shading right on it. Let's see. And then we'll get back to seeing if it's definitely finer. It's definitely finer. Sold. Back to oh, this is good. This is better. I see why people like doing this now. Let me get y'all a little bit closer to the action. I do see why somebody would want to do this. So we're getting our head nice and round, or our handle anyway. I mean, wow. I am a very big advocate of buy cheap and learn on it. This is a great example of that. Like, and I know it's some more effort. I can get this even better. And wow. And then when it's that way where I can trust it, it'll be amazing. And this is a little cheap team. Like, this has definite value in my shop. $6. Have you the soon? When you try well, then blah blah blah. Anyway, mill pliers also needed too. Oh, Amazon? Oh, this? No. I would also suggest maybe watching the beginning of the video, because you'll see me just break this apart. These are, there's only a few parts to this one. It's very cheap. It's a little frog, little pin to tighten it, and that's the blade, and that of course is the plane itself. But this is what was necessary for this. This wasn't going to do it on its own. I needed to flatten the shoe with the sharpening stone, which was only like $6. You can get this at like Harbor Freight. You can get this from Harbor Freight. Fine side, coarse side. They're both fine for this. And then sharpen that blade. And then I also got this from Temu that allows me to keep the actual blade that's in there once I take it out, get it on a proper angle so that when I sharpen it on this again, that I'm good. Oh yeah, hit those like buttons. That's dope. Appreciate that, Mark. Look out for your boy. But yeah, that's what we're doing. We got this nice and flat. You can see it now. That flat enough to get. This was square when we started and rough, and we are pulling off like legit slimmies. Like, look at that. Like, if that's not what we're here for, I mean, what are we here for? You know what I mean? Because otherwise, I would be sanding this and trying to get it to these contours and get it to these lines. And I would be, one, it would take much longer. It'd be making a lot of dust in here that I shouldn't breathe. And that was pretty amazing. That was pretty amazing. I'm super happy with it. Nice, smooth, clean. Wow. That is a great part 2 of our mallet build. What I'm going to do now, instead of using this plane for that, we got to know when we got the wrong tools for what. We're going to try sandpaper. And we want something flat. Relatively rough. And we need a straight edge. Let's start with flat. So you don't have to be crazy to start off with that one. Oh, y'all are having a conversation. Okay. That's what's up. Welcome, chat. So I'm going to make a little pencil mark, a little registration mark around this thing in its entirety. Around this edge. Now there are tools for this, but I've been doing this for a while. I got a fairly steady hand, so I can kind of make those marks fairly consistently on my own right. But if you need a tool, get a tool. And that is where I'm going to bevel from. I'm going to do the same thing on the insides. And that's where I'm going to bevel from. Same thing on this side. And what I'm hoping to achieve with this is what I did on this, the mallet everybody calls the Thor mallet behind me. And it just beveled, it just looks good. I think it looks good, right? So, a couple of ways we can go about trying to get this bevel. I'm going to start with this 120 grit. I'm going to try it by hand. We've got a reference mark on each side, right? And yes, I for sure, definitely could use a vise in this process. So, here we go. You take off the material, and this is 120 grit. Focusing on this side of the line, right? Till we hit it. This is better with a block. Let me get a block, something hard. Alright, we're back. I'll get that block so I can have a nice flat surface, and I'm just going to keep sanding until I hit my line. Once I'm at it, I'm going to do the same thing on the adjacent side. Now this is where a vise would be nice. But you know, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Not just me. Still creeping up on that line. Now we gotta carry it on the opposite side. Focus on that. That's the effect that we're after. All right, I'm gonna go get something to eat. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching. This is the mallet. That's a plane, and that was y'all looking out for me. Thanks, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Shout outs to Kizzy in the chat. Peace.